actually more with House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan. So much to talk to you about. Could we start with TikTok and tell me where you stand on that? And I heard this morning that it's likely that Chuck Schumer might want to just take a pass on this and not even do it this year.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm actually still undecided. I'm talking to colleagues, I'm talking to friends. I just met with someone from the Federal Communications Commission. So look, I'm still waiting. I see good arguments on both sides. I'm sensitive to this First Amendment, freedom of, free expression, everything else. But I'm also nervous about this is a company controlled by the Chinese government. So I'm nervous about that. So I'm going to talk to a few more colleagues here in the last few minutes before we head to the floor for a final vote.
Okay, so we believe it's got the votes to go. The question is by how many. So let's say it passes now. There are those who suggest that you could be on a slippery slope and then another company could be in the offing, depending on the composition of government. How much consideration do you give that possibility?
Very much so, particularly in light of this is my biggest concern, I guess, is in light of the investigation we've done this entire Congress where big government pressures big tech to censor Americans. I mean, that to me is scary. So now you have big government weighing in and saying, oh, this company is influenced by, I just get nervous about that kind of general concept. But I'm also sensitive to the fact that ByteDance is a company where tied to the Chinese government and what they're doing, and we've heard from folks in the intelligence community about the concerns they have with that arrangement. So I think those are the things you're trying to balance, and we're trying to do it right. I'm still looking at the bill, and we'll decide here in a few minutes.
All right, let's talk about yesterday. You had the big hearing with Robert Hur. And how do you think that went? What did you get out of it? And does it go anywhere from here, or does it sort of lose some steam?
Well, I'll go to the last question first. I do think where it should go is we should get access to the audio tapes. There were audio tapes made of all the 147 witnesses that they interviewed. Mr. Hur, Special Counsel Hur, said the tapes, particularly of Joe Biden, were a big influence on his decision to put in his report that Joe Biden was a forgetful old man, and it was part of the main reason why he chose not to bring charges. So we'd like access to those tapes. We've asked for those. I asked Mr. Special Counsel Hur, would he be opposed to the United States Congress getting access to that information? And he said really that he wouldn't, but that's a call for the Justice Department. So we'll see if they give us that information. I think the big takeaway was Joe Biden willfully retained and disclosed classified information. Joe Biden knew the rules. He'd been in government 50 years. He chaired the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He got daily briefings as the Vice President of the United States, but he shared that information. And then I tried to get to the motive. Why would he do that? I think he did it because Special Counsel Hur pointed this out. His motivations to ignore proper procedures was because he was writing a book. And as I asked the Special Counsel, how much did Joe Biden get for the book? $8 million. So I think he had 8 million reasons to break the rules that he knew, the law that he knew. And he did that, I think, because of the book deal. Okay, so the vote is underway. It's going to last about 15 minutes. Are you a yes or a no on TikTok? I'm going to go over and talk to my colleagues and decide here. I mean, I'm not trying to be coy with you. I want to talk to a couple key people who are my friends who I think understand both sides of this issue, and then I'll make a decision on the floor.
Can I ask you about this? Congressman Ken Buck, we knew he was going to retire. He's from Colorado. We thought that was going to be at the end of the year. There's very small margins, as you know. He's actually going to have his last day next Friday. So that means the Republicans will have 219, Democrats 213. There's a special election next week. Democrats expected to win that. How does this affect anything going forward the rest of this year for you?
It's just tough, and it's already been tough because the margin, our majority is so small. But obviously, this just makes it even more difficult as we're trying to move things that the American people, legislation the American people wants us to move. But we'll get through it. We got a retreat starting here later this afternoon where we can get together and talk about some of the strategic things we have to do. But yeah, it's tough. I wish we weren't losing members. We never should have. Frankly, I don't know why we got rid of George Santos and had that special election. George Santos leads voting with Republicans and voting conservative, and he hadn't been charged with any crime, hadn't been convicted of anything. Excuse me. But we just keep making it tougher on ourselves, and this is not going to make it any easier. Okay, sir. Thank you for your time, Jim Jordan. You bet. Plenty to talk about next time. Please come on back. Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.